There's no delay on this one.
We're live right now.
Yeah, are we on?
Yep,
okay, there we go. Oh, wait, no, that's not us. That's Melissa shared the YouTube. There must be something wrong with yeah, Melissa shared the YouTube video. Oh man, this really sucks. YouTube, something is wrong with Facebook because the stream is on everything else. So we're gonna run with it. I think Melissa is gonna share it on YouTube. I mean on Facebook. Let me see if it's live here. Let me see. No, that's the old one. All right, if someone on YouTube could share it on Facebook. This is crazy. So for some reason it's not streaming.
Yep, it says try your connections again.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not okay. Well, I guess people
I'm having problems with my Facebook too. I can't log in. That's weird.
Yeah, so it must be an issue and you're frozen, Angela. I don't know why you're frozen. Yep.
That's not good.
Facebook is rolling over to YouTube. No, we need to delete that one because that post here is the old one. Delete so that people don't get confused. Okay, let me do this. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Not my fault. Okay, so we're live here. There we go. Okay. All right, YouTube is on. So let me just do this. Let me do this. Share, copy link. And then I'll put it on Facebook. And we'll post it. All right. Okay. So we are now, we're actually, I just shared the YouTube video. It's on Facebook. I hope.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I'll put this up here so you can see some. So I don't know how many of you have, you can get right into YouTube. So you are free to comment.
Now we're, no, I'm on. Let's see here.
Yeah, it's if you look at the, we just pretend we're practicing right now. I know all of you that are on YouTube. Okay, we got YouTube viewers on. We got Dave. We got, let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. So we are live. We are live on YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't know about our Facebook viewers. Hopefully they'll, if you guys are on.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually a YouTube, it's actually a YouTube video that click on the link, people on.
I see it. Okay. Oops, sorry for the feedback. Sorry for the feedback.
Yeah, hopefully everybody, Twitter and YouTube is live. I'm not sure what the hell is up with Facebook. So I'm seeing all your Twitter comments, guys. I won't be able to see. There is no Facebook. So I just hope that let me do it one more time. Sorry, folks. Please click this link to watch the Mel and Charlie show with Angela Keen. And I will tag Charlie. And I will tag Angela. And there we go. All right. All right. Guys are popping up now. I see them on on YouTube. Oh, so difficult. So difficult.
There's some gremlins.
Yes, I concur. I concur.
I think we have some haters. But
You think?
it's not us. It's only when we brought Angela on. Okay, so we're not counting all of this, all right? We're not counting all of this. Okay, so they got the link. This is bizarre. So I thought it was Zoom. It's not Zoom. We went straight. This is a direct connect now that's feeding directly from my computer to YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So we are. I am starting to see. Let's give it a minute or so. In the meantime, Angela, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy. I lost about 20 pounds too.
Awesome, looking good, looking good. Well, we are. Let's wait a couple of minutes because guys are just starting to see the link and clicking on, and it's taking them to YouTube. So this is kind of bums me out, but it is what it is. Not much I can do. Something is up with Facebook. Absolutely. It's not just us, apparently. Awesome. So we got Jamie. We got a bunch of people on. It's so nice because I can actually see the chat.
I know. I'm typing in live form here. So sorry, my chair's a little bit low. I was going to try to lower this a little bit, but I don't think I can.
Uh-oh.
I have a little different setup than I normally do. So.
All good.
Whoops.
I can even. Hey, keep your stuff on.
I know. Oh, this is this delay. We're not having the peep show.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people come on. I think that's why a lot of people came on. They're so tired of seeing Uncle Charlie and Mel and all our old doctors, and so yeah, when they see Angela Keen, and we can't even get Facebook to work. I cannot believe it. So it's horrible. But I'm showing strong signals from all three of us, so this is actually pretty cool.
Jamie says there's an echo. I don't know if anybody else can hear the echo.
I think the echo might be on her side. She has two devices going when they get echoing.
Oh, could be. Oh, could be.
Yeah, I'm not picking up any echo. So yes. All right. Okay, so you can see the chats, guys, on the screen, I'm assuming. There we go. So welcome everybody to the Mel Charlie show. We apologize. Here, Jamie fixed the echo. Perfect. Awesome. No echo. Awesome. Thank you. Aloha Wednesday, everybody. Hump day. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patience. We're 17 minutes late because we could not send the feed over to Facebook. So we are adapting and moving it to YouTube. This is why we did this, Charlie. This is why we shotgun, because we didn't want one platform to take our show off the air. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, and mission accomplished. So anyway, this is
no offense to the cat people.
Oh, wrong choice of words.
Okay.
More than one way to skin a groundhog. Anyway, Charlie, welcome back. Charlie, welcome back. We missed you last night. We had a great discussion with Kumu, Kawai Hewitt, and one of the founding members of Hawaii Quarantine Kapu Breakers. And tonight we have another founding member of the Hawaii Quarantine Kapu Breakers, world-renowned Angela Keene. Thank you for joining us, Angela. Thank you so much. And welcome back.
Thank you.
We haven't seen you in a while.
A long time. What, since maybe, it would have been probably June. Would have been around my last time. June, July, August, September. It seems like it's been a year since I've seen you guys. It really does.
Lots been going on. What's, you want to bring us up to date real quick? On
Lots going on. Oh my gosh. So you all are going to hear it here first. It was a really difficult week last week because as you all know, I started a new job back in June and July, a full-time exec job working with independent physicians. And sometimes you just got to get to know your surroundings and see how things go. And I did. And then my phone was ringing constantly every day. I was talking to Mayor Blangiardi. I was talking to Senator Donovan Dela Cruz. I was talking to the Fusion Center. And I really needed to quiet that down because of my job. But then I gave it a lot. The community needs me. And there's a lot going on right now. And I am now 100% back on Hawaii Quarantine Kapu Breakers. So I left my job to come back to the community.
Damn.
Sometimes it's just not a perfect fit. And when you look at everything, would I rather help the community or would I rather not be driven and happy? I would choose the community first. No paycheck, doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, I could use a paycheck. No, they were wonderful people. It was just a different situation, I think, and not what we all expected. It was something new, and I tried to help them as best I could to get out of Dodge and come back and join my ohana, and here I am.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, Angela. A lot has been going on, especially on Oahu. Lots of things going on Oahu, on all the islands, but more so on Oahu. A lot of attention on your island, your city and county. Give us an overview of what's happening. What's happening on Oahu right now? What's with protests and restrictions and passport requirements? What's the story?
Even though I've been working, I've never been out of Kapu Breakers. I mean, I was just quietly watching and really spending a lot of time with officials behind the scenes. And I plan to do that more. But yeah, everybody is up in arms. I see this shift happening with really, it's strange. You're seeing this younger generation wanting to be free. They're joining the protest people. They actually don't agree on all the same things, but they agree on freedom. They're very noisy. There's not a lot of them, but they're very noisy on social with their protests. And then we've got Delta spreading. We've got people who are deciding or not deciding to get the vaccine. We've got the passport happening right now. I haven't even signed up for it yet, just because I don't go out. So I don't need to. I'm vaccinated, and I probably will tonight or tomorrow get with it and get my name in the system with my vaccine. But and it is confusing because I went to go see my hairdresser the other day, and although I spend an hour, 2 hours in there sometimes getting my hair cut and my hair colored, there's no passport in there, I don't think. And we talked about it, and he wasn't. My hairdresser hadn't received any notifications and wasn't aware, so things are kind of stirred up right now. I have spent time on the phone speaking with Dr. Miskovich. I have spent time talking on the phone with Mayor Blangiardi. I have spent time chatting with Donovan Dela Cruz, as mentioned, and other officials. Dr. Char, I keep in contact with all those people, and I really try to keep my pulse on what's going on, even when I was away. And now my goal is to really get behind the scenes and lobby hard for what we need. I think that unless we got those vaccination numbers up, we're still going to have struggles. There's still going to be new strains. We're still questioning whether we need a third booster for those of us who are immunocompromised. But yeah, there's a lot going on. And then you see all these social media accounts that used to be happy and viral video, and now they're jumping on the bandwagon of freedom. You know, I'm all for freedom, but I'm more for safety. And when that freedom infringes on the people who stay safe, who are vaccinated, who are playing, that's a problem. I also want to commend the mayor and HPD. I know you probably wouldn't ever hear me say that, but HPD and the Fusion Center have been a huge blessing to Hawaii Quarantine Couple Breakers. They've kicked it into high gear. The mayor listens, he receives my texts, and he responds. So does the Fusion Center, and they're very serious about what's been going on. And as you may know, we haven't been really vocal about it, but we've been doing bust after bust after bust on the weekends. And most of the busts are the underground nightclubs and the parties and the raves. And let me tell you, hundreds upon hundreds of 20-somethings are gathering in the dark of the night in a big warehouse in the middle of nowhere. Well, kind of nowhere, because this is an island, but yeah, they're gathering, they're shoulder to shoulder, they're dancing hot and heavy, they don't have masks on, nobody's checking whether they're vaccinated or whether they have masks. There's no rules, it's just a free-for-all. And that's really dangerous, because those young people are asymptomatic, meaning they're not going to have any symptoms, and they're going to go home and they're going to infect people around them who can't be vaccinated or who aren't vaccinated. And especially the keiki, the numbers of children are going up who have Delta, and it's very serious. And nobody ever talks about the long haul issues. You know, I'm a long hauler. I've improved about 95%. And, you know, after getting the vaccine. So I just, these kids just don't get it. They just don't get it. And even some of the ones that I've talked to, I'm just not going to do it. So yeah, between the protests and the raves, and we've busted quite a few restaurants that do, you know, the DJ nightclub restaurant thing. That's an issue too. And the Liquor Commission, can I just tell you how amazing the Liquor Commission has been? Every time we make a call, every time we make a complaint, they have a hotline. They work late at night, so nobody's going to answer it. You leave your message, you leave your information and complaint. They always call me back. They always tell me what they did and who they shut down. And I think the only place that hasn't been shut down that we've been watching is Hawaiian Brian's. So other than that, keep your eyes out. And if you're sending tips, do not send them via DM, send them via email. That gives me a chance to strip your identification and forward it to authorities so that you can remain anonymous if you wish to. But if you send it in a DM, it's not going to get reported, because I'm watching all the DMs myself solo on the back end, and that's my own and about 3 or 4 other platforms that we have for couple breakers. So so I really, really appreciate that. Any questions? Because I can see the chat's messages coming through. Thoughtless individuals, craziness, crazy times. People literally can go out and about as they please with their freedoms taken away. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, I put the chat on there. As long as people are civil, we'll keep the chat so everyone can see it. But if you know, if somebody comes on and starts putting silly things, then we'll remove it. But I thought I wanted everybody to see the comments.
And Kumu is with us. I see Kumu. Hey, Kumu. Kumu Hewitt is here. Yeah, Kabai Kapolani Hewitt. Yes.
Sorry, I kind of. I hope you guys enjoy this format. This is YouTube. I see a couple of you have subscribed. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, because this may be the channel we eventually go to. But anyway, subscribe, hit the little bell icon, and then you'll get notified every time we upload a new video or every time we go live. So I love this format. It works. And we're seeing comments from YouTube and Twitter. So
wow.
Tonight,
Ke aloha nui kako, ke aloha nui kumu. Yeah, it's been crazy. So I have been a little busy behind the scenes, but yeah, I was working 12, 60s, and I on silent most of the day. At the end of the day, I would pick it up and see all that. I just realized that I can't be too far away from my ohana, my people. Yeah.
Charles.
Well, I need to ask Angela, so the question that's popped up that when we just had the recent Labor Day event, people are still wondering the inactivity of HPD in Waikiki, and why was that approach taken? Do you have any idea why it went that way?
I have a little bit of insight, and part of it is the First Amendment right to protest and assemble. I know that people say, these people were not wearing masks and they were crowded and they weren't spaced out. And yeah, that's true. But I also think that HPD is also looking at manpower as well. So it is an issue when you've got 20 officers and you've got 800 people. They were saying thousands, but there weren't thousands. I'm sorry, there weren't thousands of people there. And some of them don't even really understand. Like you saw the soundbite on the news, or from the Aloha Freedom Coalition. I don't even want to call them by that name because there is no aloha in their name, and they aren't Kanaka led. But anyway,
I think sometimes they would have a reverse effect. My take on it was, it would have probably been much better if, when the interim chief came out and wouldn't have promoted the amount of force he said that was going to be there, because when he did that, I think it just assembled everybody to say, okay, let's go for it. I think if they would have downplayed it a little, then I don't think that many would have showed up. But I think because it was almost like a challenge was put out there. They said, okay,
that's
fine.
really a good point. That is really a good point. Yeah. It's a very good point. But with everything that's gone on at the U.S. Capitol and all other cities and states on the continent, I suspect that they're playing it safe. And there is that freedom of speech component. Fine, let them get sick. But the problem is when you do let them get sick, they can spread it to innocent people, and that's a big risk. That's a big risk, especially for the folks who are in certain areas of the island where we have higher cases, and especially for the keiki who are suffering right now with coronavirus. And the pregnant women. Oh my gosh. More cases of women who are hapai and not vaccinated. That's very concerning.
Do you know if there's any mechanism right now, because they're going so heavy on the vaccine cards, right, to get into certain things, to do certain things, and so basically what I see, and I'm pretty sure there's many others that see, the enforcement actually has to be done by the individual businesses. But are the individual business being given some type of equipment to validate a vaccination card? Do you know?
No, not that I know of. It's on the honor system for the folks who have been able to upload to, to the app or to the web platform, whatever it is. That has, but no, they're not equipped with that. They're not police. They're not officials that can do that, which is very difficult. I think what it did is it just brought a few more people up to compliance, which is okay. But again, it just says that it's a joke. Remember, I used to say that in the very beginning in 20, it's a joke. It's a joke. It kind of is, because there's no accountability there and can't be validated. That's kind of glad for the people who are coming forward and putting, their Vax card in and being phono about it. However, that said, there are a ton of people who are taking the risk of either A, not doing the Pono thing and not following and letting people with their masks off. Or we have many reports of people with fake cards, fake vax cards.
Mhm.
I'm constantly reporting them. I'm constantly getting them, and I'm constantly reporting them. And the interesting thing is the sector of business who seems to be in violation the most. Let me put my mic up here if that helps. The sector of the business population that happens to be in violation the most seems to be the gym community. And I don't know why. Maybe it's their health nuts. I don't know. I have no idea. But I get so many complaints about gyms who say they're not going to be following the mandate. So.
Yeah, I heard gyms. I heard restaurants. I saw a post the other day. It was actually a restaurant here on Kauai that said, "We believe in the privacy of your health and medical and religious beliefs. So if you're here, we assume that you're either vaccinated or you have an exemption." And
Yeah.
if you don't have I mean, it's just people will test the system. This whole thing, this whole right thing, this freedom thing, this whole right to protest. I definitely agree. There is a right to protest, but there's also a requirement to follow the law. And that is where I think if any of these people decided to take this to court under a pandemic and a declared emergency, and there were social distancing rules and masking rules, I don't see how they would win. It's like saying it's okay to protest, do your protesting parade on the highway with your flags or whatever, which is commonly done, but drinking beer while you're driving, that's illegal.
Right.
To me, it's an outright, blatant disregard of the law. And when we don't respond as a community, as a law enforcement agency, if we don't go out there and cite everybody and let them deal with their objections in court, it really minimizes the integrity of the whole system, of the process, because we know our local families are getting tickets. We know that we're having, local people are getting cited for quarantine violations, for gathering violations. But because these people hide under the guise of their civil rights, and we let them go, in fact, we stand there and we watch them violate the law in front. I don't know if that's a good idea. Understanding that manpower and resources are an issue, we knew. They told us they were coming. They told us they were coming in force. We have access to the National Guard. We have access to. I just don't buy this freedom stuff, this civil rights violations, because their activities in that protest put every single one of us at risk.
Yeah.
Because of the Delta. And that is why I'm frustrated, because nothing is done with these people. But we get scolded on a daily basis as local residents because we're not doing what we need to do to curb this virus. That's just my manao, my vent for everything.
Do you remember in 2020, the beginning, I said that there needed to be ho'oponopono between the tourism industry and residents. And now we're really seeing it happen. And even, I think it was about a couple weeks ago, Blangiardi was on Star Advertiser on their live. And I had posted the question and they asked it. And I said, what do you feel about the luau's, the tourism luau's, and when residents see that sort of thing? And he went into, visitors don't spread the virus. And I had to correct him and say, sorry, that's not what I meant. What I meant is, when you are told that you cannot go on the playground and you let a whole nother group go on the playground and you standing there watching, how fair is that, right? So that is a wedge between tourism and tourists and our people. So if we cannot go, why can they, right? And our locals are serving, they're doing the halal is performances. They're exposed to that. Why is it allowed? I know they need tourism, I know, but to gather mass and not be able to allow local people to do that is a problem. They're gonna have to, there's gonna be a lot of ho'oponopono when all of this is over.
and it's going to be tough. And the Kumu talked a lot about it last night, and I think it's going to be very difficult because there is such a divide now, and it gets bigger every day when these things are allowed to happen, when the inconsistency and the unfairness is allowed to continue. I talked about this last night, and I asked the Kumu, and he was so cool. I just asked him a question. I'll ask Charlie this question because I don't think he watched the show last night. I'll ask you too, Angela. You talked about the luau's. We have 3 luau. We have 1 luau on Kauai that goes once a week, 350 people. We have one that goes 3 times a week, 400 guests, visitors. Some residents too. It's whatever, guests. UH asked the governor to allow 150 spectators into the UH football game, so the parents of our kids that are playing for University of Hawaii, playing their college games, can go in and watch. 9,000 seat stadium. 150 people. You could, my God, there would be no issue with social distancing. And he was denied. Again, another example, another display.
I don't understand. Yeah.
That's stupid. It's downright stupid, and it creates a division. It keeps building the wedge. I'm beginning to think that they have agreed, our leadership have agreed that we're going to divide and conquer. We'll get everybody pissed off with each other, and then we will just move forward, because there is no rational explanation of why you would allow a luau with 400 people that came from areas of the country that we don't know, and that'll be okay, singing, dancing, hula, all of that, but we're not going to let 150 parents go watch their kids play in a NCAA collegiate football game in a 9,000 seat stadium. It's bullshit.
Makes no sense.
There's nowhere else to put it. I'm curious, Charlie, what do you think?
Well, there's so many elements to this question, and one of it is they always promote wear a mask and social distance. Well, if you just did the simple math, 150 divided into 9,000, you can more or less get yourself the square footage that each individual could have for themselves, which they would be way beyond what is considered a safe distance. So that in and of itself is crazy that the response from the administration would come out the way they did. That's my take on it. But what's even more critical, if I had to look at one thing, and that is we get numbers coming out from the local residents. Granted, because 1, they live here, 2, they test because they want to be safe. You do not have that same amount of people visiting, testing under those guidelines.
No.
You don't.
Right.
And I'll tell you, as a security chief of one of our airports, I see that every day. But then I have to ensure that our workers are safe, and everyone that comes in contact with a state worker has to be safe, because that's the mandates and we follow it. But the thing is, once the traveler gets beyond that, I call it that freedom lane, once they get screened, right? Once they get beyond that point, they can do whatever they want to do. And I just hope and pray that they stay safe and the people they come in contact with is safe. And if I look at it this way, I'm outside of my safety bubble when I go to work, because I'm just intermingling with thousands of people at the Lihue airport. But you got to take extra precautionary measures. There's no way of getting around it. And I want people to understand that's the importance, because it seems pretty obvious at this point. The administration will not go anywhere beyond what they're doing right now. They will not order anything beyond. They will not even go what they had before, which was Kauai had a pretty safe implementation of having police and National Guard doing Department of Health type work at the airports when people are coming off. That's why we kept our numbers down so low. Now, when that got removed, you can basically say all hell broke loose. So what do? If they're not going to re-implement it, you got to take things into your own hands and just make sure you're safe, because nobody's going to put that protective barrier around you. That's just the plain, simple fact.
I did want to say last night when I asked the Kumu the question, he one word response: hypocrisy. And like he just said tonight, just posted, do not let them divide us. That's it. We got to stand tight as a community, and we gotta. I mean, that's the only way we can get through this, and hopefully we'll get through this soon.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll get through this soon.
What else
sad on, Angela?
I was going to say it's really sad that the tourism industry overrides people. I can tell you from an anonymous source that Hawaiian Airlines, I know employees that work there, and of course they share information with me. So let's take a comparison to Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines. And Alaska has more employees, right? Alaska averages, from people on the inside that I know, Alaska Airlines averages maybe 4 to 15 cases of employees positive each day. In comparison, Hawaiian Airlines is averaging right now for the last month or two, 60 employees a day are coming up positive. Like, how do they even operate? They've got 130 or something employees right now at home.
Yep.
Or on quarantine.
Yeah,
so I just don't understand why that is, you know.
We talked about this last night, that in fact Hawaiian has about a 60 to 70% positivity rate every day. Every day. I think it was today, 88 tests, 60 positive. It's crazy. And yet you hear no mention of it in the media. They know, and then we talk this because these employees are not getting it from home and bringing it to work. No, they're getting it from work. TSA employees, 4 out of the 5 positives were employees that worked at the check stands or the check stations. Yesterday's report. We know that, and it's not just tourists. Let's get this straight. It's travelers, visitors, returning residents are bringing back virus that's getting into the planes, getting into the airline employees, getting to the TSA employees. Tyson Moises just said the best comment that we've been trying to say for the last year and plus. They just need to reinstate, and this is a visit industry guy. They just need to reinstate pre-flight testing and include post-arrival testing. That's it. But you see what happens if they do that? It will expose them for not stopping this surge before it got to the point we're at today. And I think they're afraid of liability. Yeah. Because there is no logical reason why you wouldn't implement. Why they wouldn't implement at least pre-flight, pre-travel, pre-departure. We need both, but even then, because they know what would happen. There is a direct correlation of the drop in cases that we're slowly seeing now with the drop in visitors coming into the state. Period. Not in dispute. So they need to get off their asses and reinstate the testing if they want to do anything to stop this surge as it's going. That's just, again, another one of my non-professional opinion.
Can I ask a question of Angela? This is from a viewer that just gave me a private message that there seems to be this unequal balance between our local residents who have to work for a living, who's serving untested individuals, especially in the restaurants. Now, I understand they got that, you got to show proof of vaccine, if you got vaccinated or not. And I did hear the lieutenant governor said that 80% of those in ICUs are unvaccinated.
Yeah.
And I question, okay, that's good to understand that. But then you also have to understand there's 20% that is vaccinated. And why did that happen? So my question to you, Angela, right now is, how do you feel about, serving untested individuals? Because when their day is done, they have to go home too, right? And they have to, whether they came in contact or not, they have to use whatever measures they need to make sure they ensure safety when they go home. How do you feel about that?
I think it's difficult because we're a society in Hawaii where we have multi-generational homes. And if you're going to be exposed to those kind of people at work, it's a liability, and you're going to go home and you're going to infect the people around you. I mean, it's sad It's sad. And I also see here that we are on an island and people are closer together. I spent a couple of weeks on the mainland over the summer, right before I started working. And I noticed how big the open spaces are and how far apart people are in conversation. Like they do stand 6 feet apart and they'll, be far away from each other. And I actually noticed it. And I thought, well, yeah, I guess they do have the ability to social distance, even in restaurants, just big, wide open spaces. So the chance for them, in places like Nebraska, where there's more cattle than people, things don't spread as fast because they are spread far apart. But when we're all bunched up together on this island, it's difficult to have that kind of distance. And anybody can say that they're negative. Anybody can bring in a test and say they're negative and be positive tomorrow morning and asymptomatic and spread that to another individual. And you can be vaccinated and you can get it. I mean, there's ways to get it into your eyes. It depends on how long your immunity lasts. It depends on whether you're immunocompromised, whether you have diabetes, whether you have other issues, whether you're Kanaka-Maoli. I mean, those kinds of things are strikes against you in battling the virus, especially Delta. So it's just, I don't know, it's playing a game of chance, I think. Charlie.
Yep, thank you. So to that viewer out there that sent me that message, I hope it kind of answers.
Hopefully I answered it.
Yep. Elizabeth Shaw. Aloha, Angela from Maui.
Hey, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Yeah, did you guys hear about Donner Shack? So that came across DOH, Department of Health, gave them another warning and violation. Donner Shack has been against, they've been for freedom and against the, any of the mandates, and have had issues with the Department of Health since the beginning of the pandemic. He's very vigilant against it.
Is that the one down Chinatown?
Yeah, that's it. So he's in trouble. He says he knows he's going to get shut down. He doesn't care. I'm all for freedom, really am. And I'm all for people who decide if it's their choice whether they want to get vaccinated or not. But when you get into a situation where you've got keiki getting sick, where you've got people who are already vaxxed getting sick, when you've got people with the virus that end up with long haul syndrome for the rest of their lives, that's an issue. You got to think about those things when you've got pregnant women who are getting sick and one who recently died. You got to think of those serious situations and say, okay, I'm just getting takeout. That's it. That's all we've been doing for the last almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're muted, Mel.
Okay. We thank you, Charlie. We continue to support local. We support local almost every day, and we need to continue to do that just to keep our businesses afloat. But these businesses that don't support or endorse community safety definitely don't support those people, whether local or not. Doesn't matter. I did want to share a little good news story, and it's I had a call this morning from a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, who works at a school here in the cafeteria, and had some mild symptoms, headaches, and then he started a scratchy throat. Went to the doctor. I went to get tested. Found out 10 o'clock last night that he was positive. He's fully vaccinated, and I told him, call your doctor and go get onto the Regeneron treatment, the new treatment that is here on Kauai. And he called his doctor. The doctor, his primary care physician, said, no, it's too early. So I called our friend, Dr. Kapono Chong Hansen, who basically made the call with Wilcox Hospital. He did qualify because of high risk and very early on in the infection. And tonight at 7:30, he's getting his infusion with Regeneron. And the reason I bring that up, the reason I bring that up is because that is there. He's vaccinated, right? And he's a breakthrough case. Like you, well, no, Angela, you weren't a breakthrough because you never was vaccinated at the time. We didn't have vaccines
Yeah.
at the time.
Right, right.
But again, for those of us that are vaccinated, and the chances of getting seriously ill is minor, or is slim. Now compare that to other people who get the virus, who unvaccinated, and they get sick so quick, and then when you get to that stage, the Regeneron is not available. So I just wanted to bring that up because Regeneron is here on Kauai. It is available for those of you that test positive early on, and you can get your treatment. So I just want to thank Dr. Kapono Chong Hansen, for making that happen. And my buddy's going to call me tonight after his infusion and let me know how it went.
That is so amazing. That is so amazing, especially considering he was vaxxed, right?
Yeah.
And Kapono, Dr. Chong Hansen has been a champion through this whole pandemic. I commend him.
You know, there's got to be a reason why his physician did not want him to take the Regeneron.
Maybe lack of education.
Yeah, that would be very, very interesting. I hope not lack of education, because to get where you're at, you got to be educated to get your MD license. So I just hope and pray that there was a reason and a valid reason, because if not, I would not go back to that person. I mean, it's crucial when you're racing against time with this.
It sounded like, because the dosages are here, they're available at Wilcox, KVMH, and Mahilona. It sounded like, giving the doctor the benefit of the doubt, that maybe just unsure of the process and maybe not sure. And I agree with you, Charlie. They should know by now. Yeah. But anyway, you know, it ended well. He and again, Dr. Kapono made the call to Wilcox and got him in tonight. So, and I must say though, that's not a replacement for a vaccine. This is a treatment for people that get sick or get positive COVID. But yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of good news that is available. We don't. I mean, we have according to Dr. Kapono, we have enough doses of the Regeneron here for those of you that test positive. And don't wait till you get sick. Don't wait till you get too sick where the Regeneron won't be able to be used. You get positive, call your doctor and let them know. So I just thought that was something.
I do want to put out a little bit of a plea for you when the time is right.
Go ahead. The time is right.
If I can say. So for everybody that's watching, starting on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, our Hawaii quarantine couple breakers we are alert and vigilant, and those who actually bring their kids in to assist the older ones. We really need your help. Weekends is to stop the underground parties, to stop the raves, to stop the electronica music gatherings. And this is really important. They're sweating, they're getting crazy, they're breaking, you know, and when they go home, there's an opportunity for them to infect. Please help us. Please, whatever you do, if you can just reach out to any of the members inside Hawaii Quarantine Couple Breakers, say that you're here for the weekend neighborhood, that you're going to look on social media, that you're going to watch for videos. Please, any videos, I mean on television, on Facebook, on TikTok, if you see any videos of restaurant / bar things, we need you to take a look and say, hey, they're dancing, they're spreading, they're not wearing masks, they're you know, or midnight or whatever. Send that information specifically for Oahu. We've got the capability to I've got the buy-in from the Liquor Commission, I've got the buy-in from the Fusion Center. We are all on deck right before the weekend down. The only way we can do that is with your cooperation, your eyes, your ears, your hands, your texting, your social media. And then when you see something, email it to us. quarantinebreakers@gmail.com. Quarantinebreakers@gmail.com. We really need your help. So that's it.
Awesome. You guys got that? Hawaii Quarantine Breakers. Is it HawaiiQuarantineBreakers.com?
It's quarantinebreakers@gmail.com.
Perfect.
Quarantinebreakers@gmail.com. Yeah.
And you can actually use that for all islands. Angela
Yep.
has a network throughout the state that will receive the tip that will be acted upon by people on all the different islands. So just Quarantine Breakers
At gmail.com.
at gmail.com. Short memory. Good, but short.
It's okay. Yeah.
Again, guys, if you guys haven't already, I know you're all watching this tonight on YouTube and a few of you on Twitter. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time we go live or we put up new videos. So appreciate you guys. Anything else, Angela? Anything else going on Oahu that some interesting stuff?
Trying to think. Aside from the vax cards, we're keeping an eye on the vax cards. You can report that as well. If you know of people who are selling them, the fake ones, we can take care and share. I do want to thank Kumu, Kawai Kapulani Hewitt. He's been amazing, and he's going to continue to do what he does because he speaks so well. And he will continue to be our spokesperson and our advisor. I will be working behind the scenes and doing a lot of lobbying and pushing. I've got the contacts of every state, city, county official, governor, mayors, and Mayor Roth for bringing up the idea of putting the quarantiners in the newspaper. And I just think that's really able to do that from the beginning. I don't know if it'll pass, but hey, he's an attorney, so he should know. I think it's great. We'll be able to have that list and know who's who. And I think it's exceptional. I wish they did it for all islands, all counties.
Yeah, enforcement is not happening with the quarantine people. I mean, and it's very difficult to find them outside. If you don't have a list, if you don't have a photo, if you don't have any of that tool. So, yeah, I know we have a lot of quarantine people that came over without the test or without the vaccine, and are here agreeing to quarantine, but they're out.
Speaking of which, this missed the news. It was like on the 4 o'clock news on HNN, and it kind of got missed a few weeks ago. We had the biggest bounty for a quarantine breaker ever who was caught. So for those of you watching, $20,000 in, I think it was 25,000, I think, in fines. This person broke quarantine 5 times. 5 times, and you all know him. His name is VFX Josh. He was part of the crew that had that rap concert in Waianae. So AG's office was looking for him, and he had a court date for something else, and I gave them an alert, and the rest is history. So he's got a $20,000 fine to pay. He's not been around too much out in public lately.
Awesome. Awesome. I know I did want to ask you one more thing, and I know you posted it yesterday. We asked Kumu about it yesterday. He was, of course, being the diplomat that he is, regarding the TikTok post that completely disrespected our Kumu, horrific post, and you shared it. That's how I found it. Yeah, what's your thoughts, man? How disrespectful can you be?
Yeah, that's Christian Ulufunua. He's mainland Samoan army transplant. He has an uncle here that he lives with. He's a promoter. We've busted him numerous times, probably more than anybody. And he basically loves to have these big, crowded, we call it EDM, it's electronica music. And he's pissed because we shut him down. We shut him down at the Dragon Upstairs, which is in Chinatown. We shut him down at Coral Crater, and we shut him down at Watt Warehouse, which is on Aoiki Street in Sand Island. And for those of you in our lead team on Oahu, you know who you are. Thank you so much for being a part of that bust, because we're saving lives when we break those up. I know they hate it, but the gathering can't continue because they're going to be asymptomatic going home and infecting. And for him to call out Kumu, Kawai Kapulani Hewitt, a revered person in our Lahui, in the community, to call him out like that and belittle him and put him down, and myself as well, I don't care, put me down all you want, but no, not our Kumu, not our Kupuna. You don't do that, and you don't get away with it. So shame to do. He doesn't even know who he is. And of course he deleted the comments on his social. People went after him. By all means, please continue to go after him, because he deserves all the shame he can get. He's lucky he's gotten away with what he has after all the busts that we've done over the last couple of months. So shame on him for doing that. And I understand that his mother is very upset about it too. She doesn't even live here. His mom's based on the mainland. His family's based on the mainland. And if you know anybody that lives out at Kapilina Homes, the neighborhood Kapilina on Oahu, that's where he lives. He does have craft fair and food promotions there, so please do not support him. If you see those events going on, do not support him. That's all we ask, because that just puts more money in his pocket for him to walk away and laugh and make jokes and make fun of us, and especially our beloved and revered. So yeah, that's that guy. Christian Ulufunua, also known as Lufa, and his online social media name is Xtrill, XTRILLL, 3 L's.
Yeah, because he don't know how to spell.
Right.
I'm going to post this up, not for us to answer, but it is a good question. I'm curious if people whom test positive and choose not to cooperate with DOH and share information, if they can be held legally liable with a fine, arrest, or whatever. Obviously, I know we got some attorneys watching. If any of the attorneys of our viewers want to take a shot at that, obviously not tonight, but check it out. We have a lot of problems with our contact tracers trying to make contact with positive people when they're doing their investigation, and some people are just not cooperating, choosing not to cooperate, and that is causing a problem with us reaching out and trying to identify as many contacts as we can. So good question, Mr. Moises. I'll put it up one more time for our attorneys that are watching. People who test positive and they choose not to cooperate with the DOH in their contact tracing investigations, can they be held liable at some point? So good question.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Angela. Again,
yeah. So
go ahead.
If anybody, I left my job. I'm back with Cupping Out and doing whatever. I'm back for now.
Awesome. Yeah, they like the YouTube platform. It's actually the streaming software that we use. This would show up the same as if we were on the other one, but we'll use this from now on, it looks like. But anyway, Charles.
Yes.
The moment we all been waiting for.
Well, I'd like to share one thought, and that is with regards to Tyson's question. It's funny when someone makes a false statement to a law enforcement officer who is commissioned, by the way. There are grounds for, arrest, for false reporting. But if you have someone who is a civilian who does not have those police powers, making a false report or not cooperating, I don't know where there's any statute that allows that person to be held liable. So that's the only difference I see. What I like to say is, we're now in a time where there's just so much confusion. And again, it's funny, we have the antis who will test the system. And yet, the law abiding side of it is we can only do so much, but they won't push the issue to push to test the system. So that's why we're in this dilemma, because we have those who will just run to the edge of the cliff, and if they go over, they go over, and if not, they challenged us. And then there's us that will keep it at a safe pace, and hopefully things will die down on its own. This whole issue with this pandemic, the way it's going, we got a lot of bark, but I just don't think we have enough bite, and I think we need to ramp up on the bite in order for us to be successful. That's just Uncle Charlie's take on it. Because I see a lot of barking sometimes, and I see a lot of people challenging those barks. And when they're face to face, usually those who challenge usually comes pretty darn close to the top. I would like to see our administration put more bite into some of the rules that gives the separate entities that power to go after those who clearly defy the safety measures that needs to be put in place to handle this variant. Because right now, we need that so much. We need safety mechanisms in there. This virus, this variant will not die on its own. Will not die on its. Just when you think you got it lit, it'll come up from the dead, and it'll start all over again. So I just hope and pray that someone out there in government is hearing us. And and if I'm wrong in what I say, then come on the show. I heard Angela say she's in contact with Libby. Angela, I would love for you to put Libby in contact, because I wrote to her like 5 different times, and I haven't gotten one response from her. We're not going to bring her on to challenge her. We just want her insight as the head of the Department of Health to give us some read on what's going on, because everything that we think is being done wrong is viewed differently from this administration, and we just want to know, what is it? Are we looking through wrong type of glasses? We just want to get on the same page, so we don't need to keep on beating our heads against the wall.
I think it's going to be tough because she's not someone who enjoys being in the public eye, especially in media. It's just her. It's just the way she is. I can tell you, and I got to be careful about the way I speak, just because I don't want to give up, some of our discussions. But she has a tough time. She really is level-headed and has a good head on her shoulders and thinks a lot of the same as our group members do. The challenge is she doesn't have a lot of say, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, why don't you just end it right there, because
Yeah.
we can read between the lines, and we don't want you to give up the that relationship you have with her. Yeah,
And she cares. She's amazing, and she's done a lot for the group and for me personally, and for Couple Breakers, and has been very supportive. Yeah.
It was very clear at the Senate COVID committee hearing a week or so ago. It was very clear when she made it clear to the Senate committee that they had been strongly advocating stricter restrictions to the policymakers, but they opted not to listen. So I think Libby Charlie, that was the first time I heard her say that. I was surprised she wasn't fired the next day. But also Senator De La Cruz also read the statute, which gives her the authority, the sole authority. She doesn't need the approval from the governor. And I'm hoping she explores that, because at some point we cannot continue like this. We cannot continue with 11 people dying today, and 12 people dying the other day, and 13 people the other day. And then a lieutenant governor coming on and said, but the hospital beds numbers are dropping because people are dying. People are dying and they're vacating their beds. Come on, guys. It is about the deaths, and it is about the hospitalizations. So anyway, I don't want to get started on that. I just pissed off when they, again, try to minimize the severity of this pandemic as we see our family and friends die.
Yeah.
I get disgusted when they keep trying to sugarcoat this damn thing. and making people feel that it's a lot safer than it really is. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. You guys all watch the same news I watch. You all read the state reports that I read. People are dying, and these people are trying to tell us that it's getting better.
And the media isn't as interested as they used to be. The stories that we used to cover and that we're covering now, I mean, like the huge bust that we had over the weekend, last weekend, didn't even get on the news. The La EA party did, but the one that we busted in Sand Island and had a higher risk because those kids at Sand Island were going to go all over the island, whereas La EA, they're staying on campus. But hey, it's whatever they're interested in. You know how that goes.
Yep. Below the fold. Below the fold. We're like the fourth or fifth story on the news now.
Yeah. You know? Right.
Yeah, right before Cheap Eats. Anyway. Anything else before we wrap this up, guys?
No, we just need all the volunteers we can get being Maka'ala, especially on Oahu for the weekend, as the young ones get ready for their parties and their raves and their gatherings. Please work with us, help us. We need your eyes and ears. We need you.
Yeah, awesome. Perfect. Charlie, I didn't. All good. St. Louis. He's got the St. Louis shirt.
Well, I just wanted to first of all thank the beautiful Angela Keene for joining us tonight. As always, thank you so much for answering the call, Angela. And to my grandson, Game Boy, who is a proud member of the St. Louis school. He's attending there now. Papa is wearing the shirt he gave me. There you go.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, and what's hard is because Papa is a graduate of Kamehameha. So having said that, but I'm proud of him. He enjoys the school. But mostly I just am proud of him for taking the plunge and keeping himself safe because, he's young. He's at an age where, they can take the vaccine 12 and over, right? So, I'm just really proud of all my grandchildren. But all you grandparents out there and all you parents, we're living in such troubled times, and I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. I know that we've had wars. We've had many things that happened, like 9/11. And again, we just passed 9/11, and I send out condolences to those families. 20 years. It's been 20 years. But I am proud of every single parent that has a child that's navigating through these troubled waters that we are faced with now. And I am proud of all the grandparents who help in helping their grandchild navigate through these troubled times. We can all do our part. So I think the message I have tonight is if we just do a little and each of us grab that line and we pull together, the load gonna be just that much more lighter. So we gotta start thinking now as fighting this fighting this whole thing as a team and not as individuals, because we find too many times individually we can get overwhelmed. So if that means someone coming from behind, giving you words of encouragement, you just stay strong because the end, it's gonna come. We must believe in that. But if we give up, throw in the towel, and we start doing all the dangerous things that we're not supposed to do, then you can be rest assured this virus will be with us for many more years to come. And I don't know about you, but that is not what I want to see. Yeah. So my message to you is let's work as a team. Let's not bash each other too much, and just know that there's always going to be two sides to every story. But just share your side of the story with conviction and be pono about it. If the other person doesn't want to listen, you let it go. You move on to the next person who would want to listen. Okay? So you folks have a great night. Mel?
Awesome. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Angela. Again, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you back full time with the quarantine breakers, couple breakers. You were missed. I got to tell you, you were missed. I just want to say to everybody, take the words of our kumu last night. We got to stand together. Remember, the light at the end of the tunnel is the party that Charlie's going to throw for us when this is all over. The free concert, the free food, the luau for all of us once we get past this pandemic. So that should be our motivation. And while the governor and the
wait. But you know the real purpose of that party now, right? Now is to raise funds to get you some medical help.
let me just close with this. We see mandate for everything now. Everything is a mandate. The other day I was thinking about this, and how about if we mandate aloha? How about if we mandate aloha? This is what we mandate, Governor. Screw that crappy mandates. You cannot do this. You cannot do that. You cannot do this. Let's mandate aloha. There's a T-shirt on if you go to my Facebook page and scroll down, I put it up yesterday. There's a shirt you can actually buy. I found it on Amazon, not Amazon, something. I forget. Gear Bubble or whatever.
You know what? I can create one. You want one? I can create one.
No, it's up. It's for sale.
Okay.
Buy it. Wear it with pride. I ordered mine. It didn't come in yet. I would be wearing it tonight. But there it is. Mandate Aloha. It's a pretty basic design, white and green. Guys, let's get through this together. We gotta love each other and work through this together. Regardless of your philosophy, we can do it. We will do it. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Appreciate you guys' patience. For those of you, I see we had about 150 viewers tonight on YouTube that came over from Facebook. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully Facebook is back up and we can get back up to our normal mode. But we will use this software so you guys can enjoy this platform. So with that, guys, you guys take care. God bless. Stay safe. We love you guys.
Ke aloha nui.